The dentist thing is more of a hobby. In real life, I'm a spy. Welcome to Primary Technology, the show about the tech news that matters. It was a big week actually for smart home. Amazon had a huge hardware event with new Echo shows. Alexa Plus is actually really coming out. Google announced Google Gemini for home, and there's some crazy things they can do with cameras and smart speakers. The Sora app came out for iPhone. It's invitation only right now, but Jason and I are both scrolling that dystopian something. And so we're going to talk about the Sora app. We're going to talk about the Vibes app. The M5 iPad Pro has already leaked and been unboxed on YouTube, and a ton more. This episode is brought to you by Shopify, the interconnected podcast, Skylight, and Insta360, and most of all by you, the members who support us directly. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Robles, and I'm going to remember to ask about the movie quote. My friend Jason Aten is also here. How's it going, Jason?
Good. I was hoping you wouldn't ask about the movie quote because I have no idea.
I think there's a 100% chance you have seen this movie and you just didn't recognize what it was from.
Well, the movie made me think of, what is that Ben Affleck movie where he's an accountant, but he's actually an assassin? But he's not a dentist. Yeah, but he's not a dentist. It's the accountant, not the dentist. So did he also make one about being a dentist?
No, this is actually from an animated movie. It is from Despicable Me 2, I believe.
See, I haven't actually seen that movie.
You haven't seen the Despicable Me movies?
Nope, this is another one of those movies where I have passively watched it 38 or 39 times because my children have watched it, and
sure,
and I make references to them very often, like the Minion phone case, that kind
of
thing.
You know the Minions,
but I've never actually watched that one.
Well, it was it was actually the first Despicable Me movie, not 2, but yes, it was Gru.
Same answer.
It was Gru, which it always amazes me that Steve Carell voices Gru. Like, I just can't. I probably have seen clips of him doing the Gru voice, but he's a good voice actor, you know.
Yeah, that's like his thing.
That's like his thing. So, tons of news. We have to get to it this week. One question off the bat, though, before we get to all of it. I assume you've been rocking the iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max?
Pro Max.
Pro Max.
Yep. I finally found a case that I like.
That was my question.
So I have one of the Bellroy leather cases.
Bellroy? Is that real leather or vegan leather? I forget. You don't know?
It feels like leather. I don't know. It's like I think it's real. I think it's real leather.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's $50. What does that mean? What does that put it in? Wait, hold on. It says something made in. Oh, I can't read. Hold on. I have to get the little iPhone.
If it's made by vegans, then you know it's vegan leather. Just kidding.
You're gonna get us an explicit tag, Stephen.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
If it's made by.
I just said he didn't make the joke about made out of vegans. That would be weird.
Ooh, yeah. So I still can't tell what this says.
Anyway, if you're a vegan that listens to us, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and let us know. I'm a vegan, but also more importantly, battery percentage on or off. Actually, not more importantly, battery percentage on or off for Apple Pencil tip direction. What'd you say?
Nope, it just says made in China with care. As opposed to all of the things made in China just recklessly and thrown together. I don't know. I think it's leather. They didn't say that it was not leather, so.
I think Bellroy makes both. But anyway, I did a leather case review this past Sunday.
Was this one in it?
No, because they're good, but I prefer the more leathery leather cases like Bullstrap, Ryan London, Ondar, stuff like that.
So two things. That we were going to spend a lot of time on the case, but my criteria for this was I had to find a case where they made a color that would go with the orange because we've talked about this. I don't love the orange, but as a highlight, it's fine, right?
Okay,
as an accent, I mean, it's fine with this case, which is kind of a slate bluish, grayish carbon color. Like
it's almost like a tech woven case.
The texture is literally not even close to that.
Not the texture, but color. This is the tech woven.
Maybe they sent me one of those sienna brown tech woven cases, and I can't leave the house with that. I've been told that's ugly. It's like, why did they forget to match them? Anyway, but my other thing is I prefer like the Nomad cases, which don't have any branding on the outside. That's my preference. I don't
except
like
on the side. They do have it on the side.
Do they?
Because that's one of the leather cases I literally reviewed. The camera's not going to focus on it, but it has.
Maybe because I've always done black, I've never noticed it.
Black, you probably would notice.
I've never noticed it. Okay.
It's discreet.
But I figured Bellroy is different than like Bullstrap. Like that just feels like a weird thing to walk around on a case. Like so.
Well,
or Ryan London, a guy's name is just on my case, and it's like you drop your phone somewhere, and they're going to be looking for Ryan London in the phone book.
To be fair, I'll link my leather case review video in the thing, but the Ryan London and Bullstrap is actually their logo rather than the full name. But the Bullstrap, it's a literal bull on the back of the case, so you have to be cool with that.
I'm not.
Maybe you do rodeos, or you play Rodeo by Aaron Copland. Either way, and then the Ryan London is like a little R on the side. But anyway,
All right.
The only reason I wanted to bring it up, I was curious if you were going caseless or case full with your iPhone 17 Pro
Yeah,
Max.
so I would go caseless, and I had been for a while. Actually, this just came yesterday, so until then I was. And it's okay, but it is a big enough phone, the Pro Max, that I'm like, I could use just a little bit of extra friction.
Yeah. So, well, I was testing the other cases, so I went both ways, and I dropped my phone. Oh, I dropped my phone the other day. I said this in my leather case review, but I'll mention here. It was in the Nomad leather case at the time, and you could see on that little corner, the leather case got a nick. So it landed on the corner, and then I found it face down. I was sitting on my patio, and it slipped out of my pocket while I was sitting down. So it wasn't from full, like, standing height, but it hit the corner. The corner is not dented. Some people were saying the aluminum unibody frame dents more easily than the titanium. So even if it was in a case, people have had little dents happen. Didn't dent. And even though it landed face down, something that we were kind of complaining about before with the 16, 0 scratches on the screen. No hairline scratches, nothing. I do think Ceramic Shield 2 is going to be less scratchful. So that's positive. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think, and I've kind of just settled into the fact that this phone weighs 14 pounds anyway, so putting another pound of a case on it is fine. If I was using the Pro, I don't know, I might feel a little bit differently. I definitely do not have a case on the Air. Like, I just feel like it's ridiculous to put a case on the Air. So that was weird. I just held it up so high no one could see what this was, but this is the Air.
There you go. You have to hold it sideways.
By the way, though, I just found our bonus topic.
There you go. Well, okay, perfect. All right, so I want to do some 5-star review shoutouts. I just wanted to say I've been going caseless with my 17 Pro Max, and I might stick with it. Of course, the 1 year I actually have a case with my face on it, the Ondar Hunter Green. The year I decided to go caseless. When I use a case, I'm going to use the Ondar.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, that would look sharp with that green. Green and whites. Go Spartans. Go Michigan State.
Listen. I have it right here because I'm to the Ondar.
Oh, that is a true Michigan State Spartans case right there. I'm going to go buy a phone and a case from you.
There you go. You should do it. Okay, I want to do some 5-star review shout-outs. I also want to thank, we have some incredible listeners who helped us get over or just about to the halfway mark for the St. Jude fundraiser. It went through all September. The fundraiser is now closed, I believe. You can always
Nope. You can still do it today because I just did it today. So.
Oh, you just did it. Oh, well, there you go. So you can still do it today.
I had forgotten. So.
But we surpassed last year's amount raised by a lot. I think by $1,000, which is amazing. We raised over $2,400 for St. Jude, which is awesome. I just want to shout out again, Coron, who gave $1,000 specifically through our campaign. Oh, the other guy, you're right there up at the top. I see you now.
That's chronological. That's why.
That's what it is. Except for Coron, who gave the most. And
yes.
Yeah. But August West gave $250. Charles C. $250. He even said, "Sorry, I can't be the millionaire that covers the 5,000," but he got us over the 2,000 mark. Old Granny, who's in our community at social.primarytech.fm and listens all the time. Thank you for that. Paul Myers gave $50, and then Richard Scary, and then I think I mentioned the other names before. But thanks for helping us get, almost $2,500 for St. Jude, which is awesome. So thank you for doing that. And also, you could still leave us a voicemail, by the way. I'm going to put this link. It's going to be in the show notes forevermore. If you want to hear yourself on the show or let us know what you think about 17 Pro Max, AirPods Pro 3, or maybe some of the Apple devices coming next month, which we're going to talk about some of the leaks there. And we did get a listener voicemail from Steve over in the UK, and I'm contractually obligated if we share a name, namely Steve, that I need to play it on the show. No, just kidding. We'll play any voicemail on the show. I just want to play Steve's voicemail real quick.
This is Steve Durham. I'm currently listening in the UK. Loving the show, as always, your number one listener. So I'm out and about in the countryside right now, listening to you guys on the AirPods Pro 3. I absolutely love them. No issues whatever with them falling out my ears, unlike the AirPods Pro 2. Anyway, keep up the great show, and battery percentage off.
I like how he just threw that jab in there right there.
I do like that because you know what I wanted to say is I know that our forefathers worked really hard to become independent from England, from
Where is
Great
this
Britain,
going?
from whatever.
What is happening?
And we still have some things in this country, right? Common law, all that kind of stuff that descended from it. We don't have a king, believe it or not. But this is not political. Don't worry. I do wish that the one thing that had stuck around is that every time I talked to someone, they sounded like Steve. Because, man, there's nothing better than listening to a voicemail from someone with a British accent. I'll just be honest. Like,
I have to be
I
honest.
can say that as an American who lives in the Midwest in Michigan. It just makes me happy.
It's same here. And you say hi to William for us, Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
William Gallagher's, he's over there, so say hi. But thank you so much for it. Leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear your voice. And I also love the idea of primary tech being played on headphones in an English pasture, maybe in the Cotswolds, where I've been. I just had to,
I have no idea what that means, but yeah.
I do. I was in the Cotswolds. I took pictures of it. I used to work for a travel company. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Also, 5-star review shout-outs. Bob Irish from the USA. He asked, did I taste the fly? Which 2 episodes ago, I literally swallowed a fly like the old child poem. No, I did not taste it. It was small enough, thankfully. Marcelo MT from Brazil. He uses the camera control button to actually open the camera. Not as the shutter button, just open the camera, which has still been my habit. So thank you, Marcelo, listening in Brazil. And Josh Erickson from the USA, he said all the things. Downloads to downloads folder, correct. Battery percentage on, incorrect. Dots on, that's correct. Drives on my desktop, phone in dominant cargo pocket, Apple Pencil toward the volume buttons. But then he clarifies, I don't have an Apple Pencil or an iPad. I don't know if that counts. I can count that as a win. And then spaces on Mac for days and keyboard clicks off. Thanks for sharing that, Josh. And for those 5-star reviews. That's fun. Now, we have
I'm so conflicted by that entire review.
He said all the things. We have a ton of news. The Amazon event at Google Home. This news I think is important because we need to check on one of our friends who we used to talk about a lot, but not so much recently, which is Imran Chaudhri, which, if you remember, was the spokesperson for the Humane AI pin. He literally wore it during a TED Talk and revealed the ink screen. Well, now apparently he works for HP as something.
Well, okay, just to be clear, he was like the founder of Humane. They sold Humane to HP.
Right.
So that's why I don't think he was just on unemployment and then the best gig he could find was HP. He sold the company to HP, and it probably included some kind of, now you get to hawk like omnibooks or whatever.
Don't worry, I pulled a clip because I had to see what is Imran Chaudhri talking about at HP. And as you could tell, his normal gregarious tone is on full display. Here's Imran Chaudhri.
It's a privilege to be here with our partners at Qualcomm Technologies. At HP, we envision a future where technology seamlessly integrates into the way people work, create, and live.
Okay, number one. Is that a green screen? That's a green screen, right? He's not really in that room.
He might be in there. Probably not. But if that's the case, they should have done a better job of centering his head in that giant white space. He's in the center of the frame, but the frame is wrong. So I prefer to think that he's in that room, because if they botched it that badly and he's not actually in that room, then that's disappointing.
Yeah, and also 100% he is reading a hostage script.
Yes, except for he looks so much happier than he ever did talking about the humane. There's a little bit of a smile happening there.
That is true.
Maybe he just realizes how ridiculous his life story has become.
He got paid. He got paid. HP
point.
Gave him some money. So
that's true. And it proves that just no matter how fundamental your principles are, everyone will sell out for enough money.
I mean, yeah. Look at me. He is ecstatic. In this freeze frame. I mean, you could just tell, exuding happiness. It's pretty incredible. Anyway, I had to mention that. I still have my Humane AI pin. I could never get it to hack the pins. People were selling those 3D printed docks or whatever to try and hack. Never worked for me. So anyway, Amazon had a huge event this week, and they announced a bunch of hardware plus software-ish. Basically, that all the software they've talked about is now officially available. The Verge has a great roundup. Basically, there's new Echoes, Echo Show and Echo Show 8 and 11. And the big news is they actually come with Alexa Plus, in the box. Alexa Plus was announced months ago. It was supposed to come to a bunch of Amazon devices. I actually bought an Echo Show to try it. And as soon as I realized it showed me an ad every time I woke up the screen and that it rotated to follow me around my office, I said, goodbye, and I returned it. So do you have any? I know you have Google Home speakers.
You're not talking about one of these ones. You didn't buy one. These, you can't actually get these yet, right?
Well, I bought the Echo Show 11.
Okay.
I guess whatever the previous model, and it was supposedly going to get prioritized getting Alexa Plus because it was the newest screen-based one. And It looked just like this. It was like a rotating speaker screen. But yeah, these are new, and these come with Alexa Plus out of the box. These are $220 and $180 respectively.
I like I like how the first time you said it, they come with Alexa Plus in the box. Like there's this little tiny Alexa Plus just sitting in the box with them.
That's right.
Out of the box doesn't make sense. I think that actually says everything you need to know about these.
Yeah.
The whole point of these devices is to keep you paying for Amazon Prime. Like for real, like that is the thing, because you can pay for Alexa Plus. I actually got an email one time from Amazon correcting something I had written about.
Oh.
You can pay just for Alexa Plus. Actually, in that case, you can actually just pay for Prime Video, which come on, no one does that. There's no one. If you are one of our listeners and you don't pay for Amazon Prime, but you do subscribe to Prime Video, please don't leave us a review. Please contact me. I want to talk to you. Like, I mean this sincerely. I want to have an actual conversation with you, but you're going to have to show me receipts because I don't believe it. But anyway, that's the reason that like all of these devices exist, so that they can put Amazon Alexa Plus on them, so that you'll keep paying for Prime. And that's such an interesting, like all of these companies are using AI for different reasons, right? Apple would like to use AI to make its voice assistant better-ish, something, whatever. Meta's using it to make you doom scroll dystopian videos. Yeah, we're going to get to all that. But Alexa's or Amazon's like, you know what we could do? We could just keep people paying for Prime. Like we could just lock people in forever.
Can I say I've had to explain to both my own mother and my own mother-in-law that they're not going to have to pay for Amazon in the last 3 weeks, because both of them
they are going to have to.
They are going to have to, because had the Amazon household before. You could have had up to 5 users in your account under the one annual subscription. And so I had an account, my wife had an account, my mom and my mother-in-law. Now with that change, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, you can only have 2 adults, and they have to share the same home address, which is how they get you. It's like same default shipping or whatever billing address. Yeah, both of them were like, I got this email, Stephen, from Amazon. I said, listen, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about this. You do have to have your own account now. And so they had to transition. But was
the next question, you have a big house, Stephen. Maybe I could just come and live with you, and then I could keep my Amazon Prime.
I said, listen, it's $15 for the first year. It's a great deal. Just start there. We'll see what happens.
Did you just offer to pay the $15 for the year to not have to have this conversation again for 12 months?
No, I didn't. I guess I should have done that. They needed to do it by yesterday, though. It needed to be done by October 1st. I forgot. So anyway. But one of the things, so Alexa Plus is supposedly a agentic type an assistant, like that'll be on the Echoes. You can connect your Uber, OpenTable, Ticketmaster account, so you can ask it to do things like book dinner reservations. I'll be waiting for either Jen Tui's video from The Verge or Joanna Stern to test this out, because I want to know how well it actually works. Does it hail an Uber?
Does it hail an Uber, and does it show up at the right place?
I muted my stuff. I hope you appreciate that.
I still had to watch it.
Okay. Only our unedited feed will hear that. They also announced new Echoes, the Echo Dot Max and the Echo Studio. Echo Dot Max is $99, and then the Echo Studio is $210. And Amazon has now released this feature where you can use them as a home theater system. So you can buy 5 mix and match like Echo Dot Studios and Maxes, and you can create surround sound with your Fire TV stick. Kudos to Amazon for actually letting you connect 5, whereas Apple TV only lets you connect a stereo pair of HomePods, big or small, and then virtualizes the surround sound. You can actually do 5 Echoes. I'd be curious if anyone's actually going to do this, but you can do it. Also, Kindle Scribe with color. You can get it, and the Kindle Scribe Color Soft is $630. Kind of, I guess they're taking on Remarkable a little bit, trying to be.
Yeah, well, so the difference here, though, is because I love the Remarkable, but the Remarkable does not have access to Kindle library, like books, right? You have to do this weird dance where if you can get them as like the EPUB, whatever that open source format is, then you can put things on, but it's not like they're not formatted for that. So like that, this is a different thing altogether. I don't know. Like I guess it's in roughly the same price category once you buy a Remarkable, a pen, or what I call it, a marker, a case, that kind of thing. But like, that's pretty pricey.
The Kindle Scribe is $430, but if you want the Color Soft, that's $630. That's pretty wild.
Are you going to test the Echo Studio, the sound?
No.
Do you think? No? Okay. Because I'm curious who... it is such an interesting thing to watch Amazon do this, because Apple has had some success, but only because people think of Apple as like making cool hardware. And Amazon makes lots of hardware, but it's typically like the cheapest, worst thing you could buy. They'll just give it to you for free. And like, I think I read like a review that the Dot Max, these names, I just,
Right.
the Echo Dot Max. Those are 3 words that mean nothing together, but it is the name of a product. And the fact that I can remember that, but I can't remember the name of the Google thing sitting on the counter in the kitchen.
Which there's a new Google thing this week we're going to talk about.
We'll have to talk about that. I have to learn some more names. Also, I'm writing this down. We have to talk about the fact that they are bricking your Gen 2 Nest thermostats. But anyway, here's
wild.
the thing. They describe the Dot Max as the best sounding speaker at that price and size point. And as far as I know, it's the exact same price and exact same size as a HomePod Mini.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to hear someone explain the difference between them.
I might. The one thing is that the Amazon, the home theater feature, you have to have the new speakers. So it doesn't seem like you can mix and match, which there's probably been, 100 different Echo models over the years, from the dots to the tower style to the round things. But if you want this home theater, you have to get these new ones. So you're talking about, if you got 5 Echo Studios, you're talking about over $1,000 of speakers, and it only works with Fire TV sticks. So I would need to get a Fire TV stick as well. And I don't have one of those. I didn't plan on getting one. That is one nice thing about the Apple TV HomePod feature, is they do have the audio return feature. So you can use your Apple TV, and if you were going to watch like your cable box, or you have a video game system plugged directly into your TV HDMI ports, your Apple TV can still send that sound to the HomePods. So you actually don't have to use the Apple TV for everything and still use your HomePods as like the audio part. I don't know if it carries through like Dolby Atmos. I don't think it does. That part probably just Apple TV. So that is a feature where Apple TV and HomePod has, whereas the Echo Dots, it looks like you have to use the Fire TV stick. So throwing that out there. Also, the new Fire TVs, like you can actually buy a TV with Amazon Fire TV built-in QLED lineup, supports Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus. Those start at $480. And then the Fire TV Stick 4K, which runs Vega OS. I don't know what that is. I haven't used a Fire Stick in a while.
I don't know, but that sounds amazing.
It sounds great. Not Vegas, just Vega.
Oh, never mind.
Which wasn't that was the Sony brand, wasn't it? The Sony Vega. Those used to be the old big projection TVs. Then Ring's Retinal Vision doorbells. You now have 4K video on the Ring, and there's a bunch of Ring cameras. The Ring Wired Doorbell Pro for $200, Outdoor Pro 4K for $250. They got a floodlight cam, so a bunch of new Ring devices as well. And Blink's Arc camera, which can give you a panoramic view of your yard, which so many brands under the Amazon umbrella. It's a little confusing.
Yeah. Also, be honest. What does that thing say? Retinal Vision doorbell? That sounds like a feature where you can unlock your front door now with your eyeball. Like,
is that
right?
a thing?
I don't think that's what that is.
No,
I think it's just saying it has like high fidelity
4K
video, but I'm just saying Retinal Vision makes it sound like it's looking at your eyeball to unlock your door.
Yeah, no. I've tested some doorbells where it reads your palm, not like tells you your future, but it just reads your palm to unlock your door. And it was okay. I don't care for it. Home key works plenty fast. That's all I need. But yeah, bunch of stuff. So tell me again. I've already forgot. Do you have Nest? Not Nest. Do you have any Alexa or Echo devices in your home?
We have 4 Echo
That's right.
Dots that have the LEDs on the front of them.
Because they're your
and we have
alarm
2
clocks.
versions of those. We have 3 of the original ones that had the LED on them, and then they revised that. And the only difference is the first version were hockey pucks. The second version were like the little mini globe things, right? But the only reason we bought them is because we can set alarms. They're the clocks in our kids' room. The parental controls are actually fine. And that's the secret, by the way. If you buy an Echo Dot, turn on parental controls, because that's the only way to get the thing to stop trying to sell you stuff every time you ask it to do something, right? Because every time you ask it, like, play Happy Birthday, it'll be like, did you know for $14.99 you can buy 6 versions of Happy Birthday by Bing Crosby? I'm like,
wow.
Just sing Happy Birthday.
But it can't, right?
It will. No, it'll absolutely sing
will.
Happy Birthday. But they all will, except for the HomePod is a little bit finicky about it. Just, short version of the review. The Happy Birthday review is a real thing. Google's the best because Google will AI generate Happy Birthday and insert the name of the person.
Oh, I see.
Which is good. So I could be like, sing
That's
Happy
pretty
Birthday
good.
to Steven, and it'll actually do it.
Right. Not even near my birthday.
I can make that thing do it right now. Do you want me
No,
to?
no, no, please.
Okay.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Okay, so that was Amazon's huge event. If anyone out there tests and uses Alexa Plus for anything, please let me know. People were asking me to update my Rabbit to the new Rabbit OS to try the DoorDash again or whatever. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're still waiting for that burger, aren't you?
I still am. Never came. Never came. I don't even know if the order went through. So Google also announced Gemini for Home. The rollout started today. If you have the Google Home app, even on your iPhone, or you have the Google Nest devices, Gemini for Home is rolling out. And if you have a bunch of Google Home devices, actually some pretty interesting stuff it can do. If you have Nest cameras, and then you also have like the Google Nest Hub Maxes, and you can ask it certain things, and the requests are more natural language. For instance, you could say, hey, you know who, I'm about to cook. Can you turn on the lights? And it will intelligently know, because you said cook, you're talking about the kitchen, so it'll turn on the kitchen lights. You can also do requests with exceptions. So you could say, turn on all the lights except the kitchen lights and lock the front door. So you can do those kind of like multi-step commands, and Gemini for Home should be able to parse those. Apple Home would have zero chance of getting any of that. If you say any word outside of the very narrow, like turn on the bedroom lights, anything outside of those parameters, and it's like, I think you want us to play Bing Crosby. So yeah, we'll do that. But also, the Gemini part can even do things as advanced as if you have a camera set up, you can ask it for things like, who ate my plants? For instance, I guess if you have a house plant and you see some bite marks taken out of it, if maybe your dog walked up or child walked up and took a bite out of a leaf, if the Google Nest Cam saw it, then it would be able to tell you, actually, your child ate your plant or your dog, whichever the case may be. So honestly, that's kind of cool. I mean, I have Apple HomeKit secure video cameras on the outside of my house everywhere. I have one in my garage. I have my doorbell cam. I have my Eve outdoor cam for the backyard. And if I could ask Apple Intelligence or somebody to be like, who hit our mailbox? And it could actually just go to the video clip of the car hitting the mailbox, that would be huge. Because trying to scroll video in the Home app from a doorbell cam is just an effort in futility. It's impossible to get the exact day and time that you want if it actually recorded because it detected motion. Like, it's not great. And so if that actually works for the Google and, Alexa Plus, I don't know if you can ask Alexa Plus that, but that'd actually be a really cool feature. Or like, show me video of when we got home. So like my garage camera, and if we were wondering, like, did we take the stuff out of the back, or did someone leave the dome light on? If you could just ask it, did someone leave the car dome light on? That would be really cool. And I think we're probably decades away from Apple doing that. But Google can do it now, apparently.
Interestingly, they also announced something called Google Home Premium, a subscription service, and apparently it's included with Google One. And the only reason I knew this for sure is because I got a push notification that says it's like a part of it. But the only reason I bring it up, so it seems like it replaces the Nest subscription. Nest Aware is now Google Home Premium, and it's also included in Google One, which I think means I'm now paying for 2 subscriptions and I don't need to be paying for one of them. But here's the thing I love about this, and the reason because Google is like all in on this. I get it.
Yeah. There
are 2 tiers of Google Home Premium, which Google Home Premium seems like it's the premium tier of Google Home-ish.
You're saying so many words.
But Google Home Premium has a standard tier and an advanced tier. So you can sign up for Google Home Premium Standard or Google Home Premium Advanced, and it replaces your Nest. Listen, naming things is hard, Steven. And I don't understand how a company as big as Google has... We just joked about the fact that I don't know what the thing on my kitchen counter is called, and I've had it for years, and actually I'm pretty sure that's because it's called something different than it was when I first got it. Right, it used to be the Nest Home Hub, and it's now the Google Home Hub Max, I think, with Google Home Premium Advanced.
I don't know what's worse, this naming or AI
conversation
video feeds. This is terrible. Well, there's going to be another Google device to add to your plethora of things, the names you have to remember. There's the Google Home speaker. It's going to be $99. Again, I think competing with HomePod Mini and the new Echo Dot Max or something. But it's launching next year. But it should come with the Gemini Assistant rather than Google Assistant built in. And that's basically the story with Google is right now, probably through next year, all the Google Assistant stuff is going away, and it's being replaced with Gemini as like their LLM AI powering all the things, whether it's home or on Android phones and things like that. So, yeah, you can get it in a real bright red. That looks cool. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I always want to know how these things sound, and really the only thing the company's making them care about is how well they listen.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good pull quote. You should write an article about that.
I wrote it down. We'll see.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Well, I want to talk about, you had an article about the iPhone 17 front-facing camera, plus MKBHD had a video about it. I need to give you props for calling something accurately, and we need to talk about the Sora Video Generator app. But before we do, I want to thank our friends at Shopify. I have built many websites in the past, and I've used various systems to do it. But when it comes to e-commerce, and if you're building a website where people can buy things, Shopify is the way to go. It's super easy to use. You can do it if you're just starting a business or if you're trying to launch out on your own, trying to get that whole e-commerce system and build your website with the store. That can be is often the biggest challenge and the biggest hurdle for a lot of people. But Shopify makes it easy, and you can do it all with Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands that are just getting started, use Shopify. So, and also, a lot of Shopify, when you buy on their websites, it works with the Shop app and also works with the Apple Wallet app. So you can get like tracking for your orders and stuff, or your customers can, which is great. But get started with your own design studio, hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. Accelerate your content creation. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. So get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So turn your big business idea into money with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/primary. Go to shopify.com/primary and you can get that deal. Launch your store, launch your website, shopify.com/primary. Thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode, and a very different kind of sponsor. I want to thank the Interconnected podcast for sponsoring this show. Today's biggest tech trends wouldn't be possible without the digital infrastructure that powers them, from edge compute to cloud systems, ultra-reliable networks, and everything in between. That's why you should check out the podcast Interconnected. It's both on video. You can watch it on YouTube, or you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. And it's a series from Equinix that offers a rare look at the technology driving the innovations of tomorrow. I listened to an episode. It's super interesting because you get to learn kind of about the behind the scenes and how AI is being used in specific industries, something that you don't hear about on a lot of podcasts. And they're actually like interviewing people in these areas. The first episode of Interconnected covers the AI renaissance in the medical field. You'll hear about world-changing breakthroughs in healthcare, including rapid diagnostics, personalized medicine, optimized clinical research, and a ton more. And without that near instantaneous network of interconnected data systems, we would not be on the verge of an AI-assisted medical renaissance. That's all just in the first episode. Has great production value. Just listening to the trailer, it's clear this is a great produced podcast, and again, super interesting. So check it out. Discover the digital infrastructure powering today's biggest tech trends with Interconnected. You can follow Interconnected on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Our thanks to Interconnected for sponsoring this episode as well. Now, you had a whole article just about the Selfie Cam, Jason. The Selfie Cam on iPhone 17. Talk to me about it.
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm trying to channel my inner, I don't know, John Gruber, who sometimes will focus on one specific thing and can talk about it for a long time. I'm only allowed to write like 700 or 800 words at a time, so this was not nearly as long as I had wanted it to be.
Right.
But I just kept thinking about the selfie camera, and my kids thought I was funny because they've never seen me take a selfie unless it's when I'm trying to cajole them all into. But as soon as I cajoled them all to take a photo, listen, I have teenagers, right? So the fact that this is what I said in the article, the fact that I don't think about the selfie camera much and don't take a lot of them is not because I don't like selfies. It's because I have teenagers who don't want to be in photos with us. And so I was able to, and as soon as that camera switched automatically from portrait, they're like, wait, what did you do? I'm like, I did nothing except for make you stand here. And they're like, that's amazing. And what I realized is, like, from our perspective, when I say our perspective, I mean 40-something-ish grown-ups. We don't
includes. I'll put myself in that category. It's me.
Ish. I said ish. Something ish. Grown-ups. I don't think selfies are a thing that you may see people taking them a lot. You may do, but you don't think about the camera, right? You take a selfie because it's like convenient, right? And Apple has been making the selfie camera better. It's significantly better this year, but the way that it's better this year is, I think, kind of unexpected, and it feels way overthought, but in the most amazing, like, great way.
Yeah.
It's fun. I wanted to say delightful, but someone trolled me last time I used that word to talk about Apple.
Why?
I don't know. Somebody trolled me in the YouTube comments. It's fine. I can take it. But it's delightful. And I think it's like one of those things that Apple like they said in the keynote, 500 billion selfies are taken a year. They know that this is probably the single most used feature on the iPhone. And they did it. It was totally unnecessary, but also I think it's like delightful. So.
Well, and so MKBHD released his review of iPhone 17, like not Pro, not all things, just iPhone 17, and he has a great demo of the selfie camera, whereas, he's in the frame, it's vertical, and just people walking into the frame, namely people who works in his studio, and the iPhone just automatically switches aspect ratio to widescreen without having to rotate the phone. You could just keep holding your iPhone in that portrait position. So I'll link his review and Jason's article in the show notes, but it is very cool. I was playing around with it, and I wish you did have more control, namely like make it, and there's like a zoom control and like a crop control, and you can rotate it to be vertical. So like if you rotate to the selfie camera, like on the 17, any of the 17 or the iPhone Air, there is like rotate, and you get this kind of view, but it's not the full 16:9 aspect ratio. It's kind of like a 4:3 vertical. And the only way to get it to that full widescreen mode, holding your phone vertical, is if other people enter the frame. So I kind of wish you could just do that, like force it with a button, because if you were recording a selfie video, maybe for a YouTube channel, and it is much easier to hold your phone vertically like this rather than, actually do me a favor real quick. Can you hold up your phone as if you're going to take video, like you're going to be holding it for like a couple minutes? How do you hold your phone?
To take video, which way? Horizontally?
Landscape horizontally. I'm curious how you do it.
If I was going to take I just would do this. And I'd use this button.
Right? Oh, see, okay. So Jason,
which is the way that Apple and God intended, is that you would hold it this way and you'd use the button that they put there perfectly aligned for your finger.
I wasn't getting into the button. I was just interested in hand placement.
Yeah, but how else would I hold it if I'm going to use that button?
I'm about to show you. So for those listening, Jason is holding it with his 4 fingers, pointer through pinky at the top of the phone, thumb on the bottom to stabilize, and he holds it like this. For some reason, and maybe please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and you could see this. This is how I hold it when I'm capturing things for a long time. So pointer on the top, middle and ring kind of on the back, and then pinky getting RSI supporting the bottom of the phone. This is how I hold my phone when I'm capturing video, or actually just taking pictures. Like in my 17 Pro Max review video that'll come out someday, I show myself taking pictures. This is how I hold it.
No, Steven.
I mean, I get this. This feels more comfortable. I'll give you that. I feel like this is more stable.
No, Steven, that hurts me just watching your fingers like that.
My pinky doesn't like it. I'll be honest. My pinky
I don't
feels
think
it after
anything.
a while.
This is so much more stable. The way I'm doing it right now is also, by the way, we both know if you're shooting video, you don't even worry about how stable it is anymore. Action mode is insane.
I know. I still think about it. Anyway, I hold my phone in a crazy way, apparently, to capture video. But if I was doing selfie video, rather than hold it like this to try and capture video myself, it would be nice if I was doing the selfie camera just to hold it like this and get the widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio. That's all I'm saying. I just wish you could force that without a bunch of people in the frame. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, selfie cam is great on the iPhone 17, and the camera itself is great just overall. I did a lot of tests in my video, and like even if you zoom all the way to 40x, it's actually pretty wild, the pictures you can get. It's a digital crop, but because of that 48 megapixel sensor, it is impressive, video or audio.
Yeah, and Becca Farsace, formerly of The Verge, had a good video comparing the telephoto camera system on the 16 Pro versus the 17 Pro. If you find yourself taking a lot of photos and you're interested in that, I suggest you go watch it. It's like I took 1,000 photos with the iPhone 17 Pro or whatever. That's kind of her thing, is taking a lot of videos or photos or whatever.
Yes.
But she did a good rundown on the differences, and yeah, it's impressive. In that 48 megapixel sensor is doing a lot of work there.
She had a great video. I will put hers in the show notes. And also, so this is Becca Farsace taking tech outside. She was previously of The Verge. She does incredible reviews, especially of phone cameras. And so that's the side-by-side comparison is great. Also, the makers of Halide, the company is called Luke's Camera, but, Sebastian DeWitt and Ben Sandowski, they had a review of the iPhone 17 Pro, as did Austin Mann. We might get him on the show, by the way. I sent him a message. He's like literally traveling in countries far off, but we might get him. But Lux Camera, I'll put their review in the show notes as well, because they had some amazing photos taken with the 17 Pro Max. Where did that review go? Here it is, the 17 Pro Max review. The zoom photos they captured in some of their photos is amazing too. So check that out. Good reviews. Now, I hate to say it, but you were right about something, Jason. And just throw that in there. When the Instagram iPad app launched, you said on this podcast that they are testing what it's like to open the Instagram app and go directly to Reels rather than the feed, because the Instagram iPad app does exactly that. It's all Reels all the time, and if you want to see photos, you have to do some kind of jiu-jitsu to get it. Well, you're right. The Verge reported Instagram is testing opening right onto Reels. The experiment right now is going on in India, but it's going to work similarly how it does on the iPad. And honestly, when I open Instagram on my iPhone, I will typically see a reel first anyway. Technically, it's in the quote-unquote feed because there are still photos and carousels in that feed as well. But Instagram's testing this 100%. I think in the next year, it's probably just going to open to Reels by default. But yeah, you were right.
Yeah, and if you want to know how right I was, I literally put those words in an article on September 3rd. I literally said, if Meta could get away with doing the same thing on the iPhone, I'm sure it would.
See, yeah. I think it's coming. So if you didn't like Reels, I don't know. And there's been a bunch of third-party apps in the last couple of years that tried to do or be what Instagram was. One was called something Glass or whatever, but they never take off. Like they never gain like critical mass of users, and a lot of them are invitation only. Some of them are like paid only. And I don't know. Do you think we'll ever have a photo-only social media app like traditional Instagram again?
Probably not. But I feel like the thing is, it's not just that I don't care about Reels. And when I say I don't care about Reels, I don't mean I like dislike Reels. What I'm saying is like I'm neutral. Like fine, Reels are fine, whatever. What I don't like is that Instagram means something to people, and Meta clearly wants it to mean something else to people. And what it really wants is for it to be the place you go instead of going to TikTok.
Right.
Whatever. Like, kudos to them. They have an app that they can just morph and change and whatever. But I do think that there's a cost when you do that, because Instagram's been around for a long time. And it just apparently isn't the thing that Meta wants it to be, which is the place where you share carefully curated photos of your imaginary life, that what you want people to think is what's happening in your life. But like, and here's the thing, Stephen, about this that I think is interesting, and it leads into the conversation about the Meta vibes and all that kind of stuff. I posted a story the other day. The most benign thing, actually it must have been yesterday because it's still there. I posted this very benign story of my cup of coffee in the morning, right? And people sent me hate because they thought this was AI generated. Because
are you for real?
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, the water moves. It doesn't move that way. Coffee doesn't. I'm like, I'm like, no, literally, I just put my cup of coffee there and I just took a quick video. And I only did it because I was actually taking photos of it, and I realized like, oh, actually the steam coming up is kind of cool. I should just take a quick little video of it and whatever. And people are like, oh, you're contributing to the AI slap. I'm like, no, dude, it's just my morning coffee.
That's wild.
So I don't know. Like, I don't think that people like stories, reels, whatever. It's all fine, but people expect a certain thing with Instagram, and Meta is just gonna like shove us through this transition to make it something else. No, It was not AI generated. I do not AI generate my coffee. I drink real coffee. It's actually an Americano, but like real espresso, pulled into a double shot with hot water. That's my coffee recipe.
Speaking of which, what espresso machine do you have?
We have a Breville. It's
like
like
that nice Breville.
It's not the top-ish tier. It's not like the $2,000 version of a Breville. It's like the $900 or $1,000 version.
But it like grinds the beans at the top.
Oh yeah, it grinds them. You can set. the length of time that it grinds, the amount of coffee that goes in there. You can set the amount of time for your. It's like, yeah, it's great. I love it.
I'm thinking about getting that. I keep looking at it.
It's good stuff.
I want to get it. All right. So speaking of AI generated stuff, a couple things. So Sora.
I got to go for a couple minutes, Stephen. I don't even want to.
No, you
look
got
at this or talk about this.
So here's the whole story. So you have Meta. They have an app called Meta AI, which I realized yesterday that I had never downloaded. And if you want to experience Meta Vibes, which is their completely AI-generated feed of videos, you have to download the Meta AI app. But whether you want to or not, this next story might have something to do with that, because the news came out that Meta is going to use whatever you talk about in that AI app or in any of its AI services, which is also in like Facebook Messenger and Instagram. It's going to use any of the text and stuff that you put in that chat to personalize ads to show you. So basically, whatever you say to Meta AI in whatever form or fashion, they're going to use it to train and target ads to you. Adam Mosseri, he's, again, over Instagram and Threads. He had a video saying, no, we're totally not spying on you. Which, I mean, okay, sure. I guess it's not spying if you tell you about it. If they outwardly say we're training or targeting ads based on what you talk about. This is why I did the Despicable Me quote. You know what I mean? The dentist is more of a hobby. So anyway, just that is context for the next couple apps we need to talk about. Because one, earlier this week, Sora 2 was announced, OpenAI's bettered video generation tool, and the Sora app on iPhone is now out. And it's invite only right now. Lots of people offered to send me an invite. I've accepted one from Brian Fagioli, so thank you for that invite. And then I subjected Jason to the invite because I needed him to see this hellscape. But the Sora app is basically Reels and TikTok. It's a vertical video scrolling feed, but everything is AI generated. It is all AI generated content. So that is the Sora app. You can also generate content. You can generate with just a text prompt. You can give it a photo and then ask it to generate that. I'm going to show one of mine in a moment, which is literally horrifying. Or you can even do a thing where give it permission for cameos. And if you give it permission, it will use your likeness, or other people can use your likeness to generate AI videos. That's the Sora app. And before we actually offer commentary on it, that Meta AI app also has a feature called Vibes, which is the same thing. It's all AI-generated vertical video. MG Siegler, who writes at Spyglass, he actually tried both and for some reason loves Sora and says he gets sucked in for hours scrolling AI-generated video. Well, we'll get into that, but he says the Sora app is much better than Vibes. I downloaded the Meta AI app to try Vibes, and even though they are both terrifying, I will say the Sora app is better for what that's worth. I think mostly because the Vibes app from Meta, there's no likeness of real people. Everything, you can't, as far as I could tell, I did not see any videos with real people in it. It's all AI-generated people, so no actual faces. But the Sora app, you can. So anyway, let's talk about the Sora app. First of all, I sent you an invite yesterday. I said, Jason, you should try this. And when you set up the app, and you can do it afterwards, you can give it that cameo permission.
Sorry, Pikachu started yelling at me from the Sora app when I opened it.
Did you give it cameo permission?
No, Steven. I opened this app and I threw my phone. I'm like, nope.
Luckily, that aluminum unibody frame took that throw.
I threw the iPhone Air and it just flew for a very long time. No,
it's still flying. It's still in the air.
I have to go get it. It's in my backyard.
Yeah.
No, but I want you to talk through the app, but I want to actually talk about a very important difference between the two things. The Sora app, okay, Sora is OpenAI's video generator, but this is not just Sora. This is a very specific app that wants you to use Sora to do a very specific thing, which is like the AI version of TikTok remixes, I guess, right? That's the whole point of making a cameo is now you can let your friends put you into weird videos that they can deepfake you kind of thing. Whereas the Meta AI app is not that. Right, it's you can tell it a prompt and it'll just make a fantastical, weird,
right,
Game of Thrones dragon flying through the valley or something, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
the Sora app, you're going to see people you know.
I don't want the Sora app. I don't even want to interact with it because I'm like, oh, I could experiment with this. And then all of a sudden I realize, except for everyone I know, which none of them are using this app, so it's probably fine, but would be able to like remix whatever I come up with and use me and like,
or
they're going to
not
judge
even,
you, Steven.
You can, like, people could say, put Jason on the Severance macro data refinement floor or whatever. And if you had given permission to do it, you do have to give permission. People could just generate those videos out of whole cloth with your likeness. And we'll get into that too. This was the first thing that I saw when I opened the Sora app just now. Sam Altman's face and then a terrifying looking laugh, and he walks off screen. Again, remember, every single video in this Sora app is AI generated. That being said, the accuracy at which it gets some people, like Andrew Edwards, is impressive at times. Like, the likeness is very accurate. But again, every single video is AI generated. And that, as you scroll, and Justine has been all over it. She's been creating tons of videos. She is also given permission for other people to create videos with her likeness. And there's been lots of that. And then people are also doing like historical, like here's JFK, but they changed the last few words of his speech. And so ask not what your country can do for you, ask how much money your country owes you or whatever. And so that's what it says. Number one, just the highest level premise. Do I want to scroll a social network where literally every piece of content I see is AI generated and absolutely nothing is real? After about 5 minutes, I was able to answer that question for myself, which is no. I think one of the reasons why people enjoy scrolling TikTok or Reels or whatever is because you are I'll say often, 90% of the time, seeing real people do real things, whether like whatever that might be, whether they're explaining a recipe, whether they are like giving fitness tips, whether they are skateboard, like the Red Bull video with the highest skateboard drop-in ever. Like, you're seeing real things. And so the very premise that I would want to just scroll a social media app and solely see AI generated video, I am very curious. MG Siegler apparently gets sucked into it. Aside from being impressive from a technical standpoint as to how accurate it is generating video in people's likeness, that is not an experience I want to have at all, I think, or for an extended period of times. What, right?
Yeah, so, okay, Ben Thompson had an interesting take on the Meta AI app, which was, sure. Well, that's like the tab, right?
Inside because the Meta AI app has like the chatbot and everything in the Vibes tab.
Which is that it's like the first real VR experience, right? Because all of this stuff is fake. And he did make the point that the fact that everything in there is fake is probably good because it removes that friction point of, is this real? My Americano is real, people. But like, I didn't make it in Sora or anything like that. I just took a 12-second video of my morning coffee. But also the stuff in there is not necessarily, it's realistic, but it definitely has a very futuristic AI. Like, it has a very distinctive style, right? That is in, and so when you're in it, it feels fantastical. It feels like, it feels fake. But it's sort of like you could just sit there and enjoy this virtual experience of going to all these worlds, far off places or whatever. The Sora one is totally different. And maybe I'm just old and don't fully understand the delight of making JFK say weird things. But that to me feels like, listen, Steven, are they just trying to desensitize us to the fact that this is what the reality is going to be like in a couple of years, where you're just never going to know. And you're going to find way more deep fakes of yourself pushing like, supplements.
Well, that's the thing. So another video, here's like a dog riding a motorized scooter, and it's supposed to look like dash cam footage of a car.
And it's supposed to make you think it's real. Correct.
And honestly, if I saw this scrolling TikTok or Instagram Reels, I would have to think for a second, is this real or not? And in a lot of these videos, again, the actual person likeness in some of these videos, like here's Chris Welch working at Chipotle. And again, Sora 2, incredible at generating people that don't look, you think about the Will Smith eating spaghetti video. It is like, we've come a long way because it looks really good and real. This is kind of funny, seeing Chris Welch at Chipotle. something about it doesn't feel good. I don't know what it is. Like, I think, I don't know. I tend to avoid conspiracy like thought process. Like, they are desensitizing us for the future where the robots will just run everything. But it does feel like both Meta and OpenAI are saying people are really going to love AI generated video. They're going to love consuming it. They're going to want entire feeds of just that. So we're just going to give it to them. And I would be curious. I haven't shown it to my kids yet. I would be curious their response to it. I have a feeling my oldest would be like, nah. And I think my middle son would be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and might watch it because, again, the addictive nature of any of these scrolling video apps it's strong. It's a strong pull from what it is. And so I don't like it. And I also don't think allowing it to use your cameo or your likeness, like, again, there's so many videos of Aisha. This one actually does not look as good, like, as far as her likeness in this video. I was close to doing it because I'm like, listen, I guess I'm a tech journalist. I should like do all the features and try all the things. And there was a moment where it was like, allow this app to use your likeness and other people to use your likeness to generate videos. And to call back to the deepfake of mine from months ago, and that felt weird. I'm like, that doesn't feel good. Like, I don't want that. I don't want my likeness to be able to be generated into whatever, even if it's in this sandboxed app where everything is AI generated, everyone should understand it's AI generated. I don't want that. I don't want people to be able to do that. Technically, yeah, people can do it now. People can download my YouTube videos. They can upload it to HeyGen and like make what they made a few months ago as far as my deepfake. But that feels like it's crossed over something, like it's crossed a Rubicon. Does that hit you at all?
Yeah, all I know is I like the Meta one better. It's
Because
way
it's
better.
not-
It's so much better. And I think so. And just to go back to Ben Thompson again, on Stratechery, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, he talked about it, and he talked about like the idea that something, I don't remember exactly where the construct comes from, but the 90%, 9%, 1%. And he's like, YouTube is making AI tools for the 1%, which are YouTube creators. So like YouTube introduced a bunch of generative AI features or AI features when it did its made for YouTube thing. But it's like, we will identify every single product in every video you make and offer to put a link there for you for like sponsorships. Like, they want to get, what they realize, Steven, is when you make a sponsored segment for a video, YouTube doesn't make any money. And they're like, hey, what if we figured out a way to do that for you? So that's the 1%. OpenAI is like for the 9% of people who want to just create like an edit and remix and do stuff. And Meta made an app for the 90%, which are people just want to consume stuff. Like, you just want to scroll. What you want to do is just to scroll through a feed of magical AI generated environments and whatever. The Meta AI app is going to be better for that. If what you want to do is remix your friends into weird videos alongside Ronald McDonald DJing whatever, like, right, then the Sora app from OpenAI is the one that you want. And if what you want to do is make money on YouTube, then YouTube Shorts is going to be anyway. So I just think I don't want to do the OpenAI thing, and I don't think I want to experience it. And I think two things. One, I feel like it has a much shorter shelf life baked into it because it's like a lot of people who are doing it because it's new and they want to try it, not because they think this is amazing and we should have this exist in the world.
Right.
Except ChatGPT has the largest user base. And I think that they literally called it the ChatGPT moment for video. And I don't think that the Sora app is going to be that. I could be wrong, but I do think it's possible that like the Meta AI app, if Meta figures out how to make this happen, not just in an app that most people haven't downloaded, right? Because nobody's using the Meta. Is anyone using the Meta AI app?
I hadn't downloaded until yesterday. I didn't realize it was a separate app.
I don't use Meta AI for anything except for I would just scroll through this. I would scroll through things in this app. I don't know who's making them, right? Because I'm not going to, but I would scroll through this like some weird version of Chewbacca, like flipping around. Like, but what's nice about it is that you're like, nope, I totally know all of this stuff. And that's, I think, it was on Dithering, I think, that Ben said this. It's like the thing he likes about it is it removes that mental calculation of, is this real or is this fake? And it's just all fake.
Okay, so two things. One, I don't think we should remove that mental strain because we need that muscle for every other platform. Like, we need to be able to say, this is real, this is not. And we've talked about media literacy a lot. Tyler Stallman, he's been asking on social media who is talking about this. We have been.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to invite him hopefully as a guest and to talk about it because he's a video creator in that way. But one, I guess like you were saying, people just want to scroll content. That premise, I think, hits me deeply where I don't want to believe that. Like, I understand on some point people just need to take a break. Whatever. You had a long week, hard day, and you just want to scroll on social media, whether that's good or bad, let that aside. Like, I get that. But if people don't even care what's on screen, but just want to scroll something, and so the fact that it's all AI generated or not doesn't make a difference, that like troubles me on a level, I guess, because that's just like a change. It feels like a change in the human psyche. Like 5 years ago, when like TikTok blew up because of COVID and everybody was at home, I don't think it would have done as well. Like, I feel like in that moment, the reason why TikTok blew up was because people were craving human connection and also entertainment, but it offered both. It was both real humans. You kind of felt this quasi-connection because everyone's experiencing this lockdown together, and it was in a format that people really responded to. I think if TikTok and Sora had come out at the same time right then during COVID, Sora would have lost. Because if you had just said, here's just a bunch of AI content, or here's real people trying to do stuff at home, I want to believe that the human like psyche would have said, yeah, I want the real people stuff, not this. And so now that we've been removed from it for several years and everyone's excited about AI and what it can do, it feels like we've lost a little bit perspective of like, oh yeah, we just want to scroll stuff. And like, I get it. Like, there is like this human like pull to be like, if you're bored or if you just want to laugh, like you just reach for those platforms, whether it's Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Like, there is just like a instinctual action to do that. And I don't think for that instinctual reaction to lean towards AI generated content in an infinite feed, I think that is actually worse than the reaction going towards TikTok and Instagram Reels. I can't put my finger on exactly why, but it just doesn't feel great. And so when I see this scrolling feed of creators that I really love watching or people I recognize, and I'm like, I get to see you in real life at tech events and talking about products, and I like seeing that. This is not a replacement. I don't even want this as a supplement to that. Like,
Right.
I just want the real thing. And so I guess I'm wondering on that base level, is this something that, I don't know, we're going to be people.
Here's the thing. So what these companies are doing is, especially Meta, but obviously OpenAI as well, in what Meta is very good at is identifying a space where people have, so for example, like TikTok, the space it filled was just idle time. Okay. So then Meta put Reels because it'll like, if idle time is when people use social media apps, entertainment, whatever, we need to be in that space. So they identify a space, then they figure out a way that they can be the one to fill that space. Right. And it turns out that the cheapest way to fill that space is AI generated content, right? Because YouTube, it's really, really expensive for YouTube to fill that space because they got to pay out half of the money to the creators, right? Netflix is super expensive for them to fill that space because they got to put out another Ryan Gosling movie or whatever. Like, it's like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, how many more do we get out of him, right? But it's expensive. They got to pay the guy to show up and do all the things, right? AI content, yeah, there's servers doing server things.
GPUs
and
crunching.
And boiling the ocean or whatever. But like, relatively speaking, it's basically free. The only limiting factor is power capacity, right? And we have a lot of that. So that's the thing. And then the next step is we have a cheap way to fill that space, which is literally all these companies care about is how do we be the place that, especially if you're Meta, because then we can show you ads and we can make money and whatever. But that's not enough. Then it's like we identified a habit that humans have, which is to find a way to fill idle space. The problem is then their goal is to expand that. They are expanding the amount of time you spend with the idle space and filling it with this stuff. And for them, they have to keep doing that because that's the only way that you grow. But that is proven over and over and over again to be super destructive to humanity. It's like this thing that was a habit, which was I stood in line waiting for a coffee. Now I found something to fill that time. Now all I want to do is do that thing that I used to fill the time, and I forgot that they even made my coffee now, and I'm just standing here like a fool waiting for my coffee, and I've scrolled 14 videos because I've been standing here for so long, and then I'm late for work, and then I lost my job, and so now I have a lot of idle time that I can spend watching stuff. Like seriously, like I know that's a little bit hyperbolic, but not actually that much, right? Like it's the same thing that happens to someone who becomes addicted to like drugs.
Well, there's also, well, we'll move on, but
good.
Like
I'm happy for that to be the last word.
the dopamine or serotonin hijacking that you hear about a lot, where like the quick hit that these short form video platforms provide kind of throws off your body's ability to generate that serotonin with like normal things, like a cup of coffee that you made yourself and enjoying that looking at your backyard, which people think are AI generated anyway. Like, which is actually, now that I think about it, kind of hilarious. Like that is the thing, like what you did in real life is one of those moments where your mind should like get a little hit of serotonin because you did like an enjoyable thing and you're taking a moment and having the space, and people were like, nah, it's AI generated. That kind of is like the perfect encapsulation of like, I think what is happening. Like,
right.
People just don't see it. And I'll just mention this because it hit me, and this will be a video I put in the show notes, but the Harvard Business School did this video about, they did a study about boredom and why you need to be bored and all the benefits that boredom provides both to your mind and to your mental health, but also to creativity and even productivity. It's a short video. It's like 5 minutes or something. But it made me think like, one, I think we have enough things to scroll. And I understand like that's antithetical to like all of these companies making more products and releasing more things and wanting more attention. Like, the economy today is attention. And I'm part of that. I have a YouTube channel. Like I totally get it. Everyone wants your attention, but I think it's always about the value you provide. And I still stand by, like when I scroll Instagram, 90% of what I get now are recipes because I'm trying to do high protein, whatever recipes. And like there is a value there. Am I doing it in those dull moments of the day? Yes. Do I get some value of it that does translate to real life? Yes. And I think that value could be entertainment, like enjoying a funny video with your kids or your family. Like, I think that could be valuable. If it's someone giving life advice, whatever, like there is value there. TikTok is the same thing. I think there's lots of amazing creators providing lots of value there. I don't see value in these, like the Sora app or the Meta AI app, aside from pure, it's not even it's entertaining, I guess, but I don't even put it in that category because I would rather watch some guy talk about, like in real life, be funny in a TikTok or an Instagram reel than see these videos. Yes, they are technically impressive. Sora 2 has gotten way better. I don't think I want it. And maybe I'm an old man shouting at a cloud right now, but it just doesn't feel like it's good. As like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the good news, by the way, is that, and this is why these companies try so hard to keep you engaged, is that it turns out that your brain is super resilient and that it only takes a couple days or a week to start to generate different pathways. So if you put down your device, I'm not saying don't use your iPhone. I'm saying if you didn't open the TikTok app, that's surprisingly hard to say, for a week, it would be much easier to just never open it again. Right? Like I don't even have I don't miss TikTok because my brain is not wired to look at TikTok. I don't have it on my phone. Like I just never use TikTok. And if you found yourself like, I'm taking too much time doing this, your brain, like within a month, your brain can completely rewire those pathways and fill them with better things. Right? So like it is not a lost cause. It's just those companies are so good at keeping you from, it's like, it was Mark Benioff who's like, Facebook is the new cigarettes.
Right. Anyway, I took the Meta AI app off my phone because I was like, I don't need or want this. Everything's going to be tracked for advertising anyway. I'm going to delete this. So I deleted that one. I'm going to keep the Sora app, but man, I don't know. All right. We have some more fun stuff to talk about. Lightning round. The M5 iPad Pro already leaked. This is a big show. It's a long show. But also, we have another sponsor break. So this is a great time, too, to plug. If you support the show, you get an ad-free version, The Daily Show. You get our bonus episodes and a ton more. And so you can support the show. But I do want to thank our friends, number one, at Skylight, because they actually sponsored a video on my channel. But they also advertise on this podcast. And Skylight is the digital calendar. You've probably seen this on social media. I had been seeing it for a long time. And so I actually reached out to them because I was like, I want to try this. We've done paper calendars in the past and all that, try to be as organized as possible. But the Skylight calendar app, I put it on our wall and it's pretty incredible. I mean, you can do it not only for tracking events, it syncs with your iCloud calendar events, but you can do chores, you can have rewards for your kids, you can do meal planning, and it does even have like AI generated features like the Calendar Plus subscription, which you don't need to pay for to actually use it. Like you can use a ton of the features just by buying the calendar itself and putting it on your wall. But you can also get AI generated features like plan me meals for the week that are gluten-free and dairy-free. And it will literally generate the recipes, give you the ingredient list, and add it to a grocery list that's on your phone and on the Skylight calendar. And so the biggest feature for us has been the rewards. So you can have like chores that you program per kid, and then you can have rewards per kid. And so we actually have rewards for like new book. For my son, extra game time. For my daughter, it's like stuffed animal. And so you can say how many stars to get that reward, and completing chores and daily tasks help earn stars towards those rewards. And it's actually really cool. And it's been incentivizing for our kids. So I would encourage you to check out Skylight. I'll put a link in the show notes, but Skylight, I'd seen it for a long time, genuinely wanted to try it, and it's actually really, really good. And we'll be keeping it on the wall and using it long term. So that link is in the show notes if you want to check out Skylight, especially if you have like family organizer or you just want to be able to see a calendar on the wall that actually syncs with your stuff. It's really cool. So our thanks to Skylight for sponsoring this episode, and also our thanks to Insta360 and the Go Ultra. You've heard us talk about it in the past few episodes, but the Go Ultra is an amazing action camera. It launched recently, and it's changing the game. It's the size of an Oreo. If you can imagine an Oreo, you can imagine the Go Ultra camera. You can wear it around your neck. It's magnetized, so you can stick it on different surfaces. But the Go Ultra is the way to get. You get 4K 60 frames per second footage, plus it has incredible battery life. It's IPX8 waterproof up to 33 feet. You can get the Action Pod, which adds up to 200 minutes of runtime. It has 70 minutes just on the camera. And Fast Charge gets you from 0 to 80% battery in just 12 minutes. So grab a coffee, or make a coffee in Jason's case, while you wait for it to charge, and you can go on recording everything. And again, like I said, it's magnetic. So if you do gym content, you want to attach it to your fridge, do some kitchen content, anything magnetic, you can just stick the camera to it, no other mount necessary, or you can get all the different accessories that go with it as well. Also, it has Apple Find My built in. You can use Apple Find My to track down your camera, which is awesome. So here's the thing. You can get a bag of free sticky tabs, help you mount the camera everywhere from winter jackets to outdoor jackets to backpacks with your Insta360 Go Ultra purchase. So head to store.insta360.com and use the promo code PRIMARY, and available for the first 30 purchases this week. For more information, check out that link in the show notes, store.insta360.com, and that is the Insta360 Go Ultra. Our thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this episode as well. All right, lightning round. More AI, but Anthropic released Claude Sonnet 4.5, which can code for hours. Yes, I was tempted to restart my podcast app project.
No,
I'm not going,
no.
not going to yet. What's that?
No, don't do that. Don't restart, please.
No, I'm not going to. But Sonnet 4.5, it can run autonomously for 30 hours straight coding stuff. So, yeah. No, I'm not doing it. I will resist temptation.
And I think for comparison, the previous version would do 7 hours.
7 hours. Yeah, that's right. So pretty impressive. Also, Microsoft promotes sales chief Althoff to help free up Nadell. So he's going to be running like the Microsoft business, which I wanted to put this in here because it seems like a small, okay, there was a leadership change in Microsoft or whatever. I was talking to a friend of mine who works at an IT company and works with a lot of commercial and businesses, and he was basically like, Microsoft is everything. Like on the enterprise side, when it comes to the software, the security, like 99% of their clients, and the company he works for has a ton of clients, it's all Microsoft. And so Microsoft's like business and enterprise side is like the deal. And it is a huge business. And so the fact that they're promoting Althoff to run that business is like, it's a huge part of Microsoft and their business. So anyway, thought it was helpful to point that out.
I just think it must be nice to be in a position in your career where you're the CEO and you can just choose what is you want to do and hire someone else to be the CEO that reports to you.
How many Microsoft probably has like 8 CEOs because they have like.
I mean, LinkedIn has a CEO, GitHub has a CEO. I don't know.
And those are all Microsoft. If you didn't know,
right? Correct.
Yeah, all that is Microsoft. Skype has a. Oh, wait a minute. Just kidding. Skype is dead. Long live Skype. The M5 iPad Pro is out there in the wild. This Russian YouTube channel. This is the second Apple device that they have leaked. First of all, it was the M4. Last year, it was the M4 MacBook Pro. They literally unboxed it on camera, and it's definitely the M5 iPad Pro because he turns it on, and you can see when he goes to like the about info for the device, it shows the M5 chip. This is not like earth-shattering. We knew Apple would eventually release an iPad Pro. The next chip would be the M5. I think the biggest story, which he doesn't specifically mention in this video, is the dual front-facing camera. That's like the big rumor for the new M5 iPad Pro. And I didn't see in the video anywhere where he like held it up real close to the camera to see like, is there another front-facing camera? So curious about that. But he did like performance tests. Guess what? The M5's faster than the M4. Otherwise, it's largely unchanged. But seems pretty sure that it's coming, probably very soon.
Yeah, I think there were some people who are like, well, this could be fake. And I think John Siracusa on the most recent episode of ATP was like, I think it would be easier to steal it than it would be to fake this. I think that would be more work to just fake all of this than it would be to just steal. But like, yeah, there's definitely something going on there where there's some truck that just keeps driving through the bad part of town and losing stuff.
Specifically to this one YouTuber who is Russian. You can listen to the overdub in English, but as I now have understood, the overdub's not great because hearing him speak the overdubbed English, some sentences don't make sense. Just throwing that out there. But it goes to show, I don't know if we'll have an October event, but we're definitely going to see some October releases from Apple. The M5 iPad Pro being one. We might see M5 MacBook Pro. Those have been kind of on a annual cycle. Also, Apple TV, new 4K version, HomePod Mini 2, and AirTag 2. Those are all rumored to come out next month.
Stephen, what M5 device are you most excited about?
I thought you were going to ask me a slightly different question, but this kind of touches that too. I don't know.
I'm sure you're more excited about like the little robotic arm thing, or I don't care. Like that's not. I want to know which. That's what because it's interesting. It's like, will the M5 versions be very different? So which one are you most interested in?
If I have to say most interested, I'd probably say the M5 MacBook Pro. But which one would I'm actually going to buy? None, because I have the M4 iPad Pro. I don't know what they could possibly add to an M5 iPad Pro that would make me want to spend another $1,000 to $1,500 to get a 1 terabyte iPad Pro. So I'm not going to buy that. I've been really happy with my M4 MacBook Air. And sometimes I've been like, oh, maybe I should go back to a MacBook Pro for when I'm traveling. But then I'm like, I don't do it often enough to really care. So I don't know. I'm most excited about the Apple TV 4K.
Yeah, that's not going to have an M5 in it.
I know.
Hypothetically,
yes.
If the M5 iPad Pro is compatible with this
Smart Folio,
with the Smart Folio,
yes.
Are you buying one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably would. Would you?
I'm still using the M2 because I love this thing so much.
That's true.
And the only downside to it is that it doesn't have the tandem OLED.
Right.
Because an M2 iPad Pro, plenty fast enough for anything that I use an iPad Pro for.
I'm going to save it for the personal tech segment, but I got problems with iPadOS.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Adobe Premiere, like the real Premiere, not Premiere Rush, came out for iPhone. So if you wanted to use it, it's actually free. You don't need a subscription to use it. You can use Adobe Premiere on iPhone right now to edit videos. That's pretty wild. Again, taking on CapCut. I've actually been using, as much as I've bad-talked Meta about their AI app, I use the Edits app to just add captions to my vertical videos because it's really good at that. And so that's what I do. It's free. But now, maybe I'll try Adobe Premiere. We'll see. And Apple might be pausing the lighter Vision Pro, which might have been a Vision Air or whatever, to work and prioritize on Meta-like AI glasses. The Meta new Ray-Bans with display was out or came out for pre-order September 30th, which was this past Tuesday. I tried to schedule a demo at Best Buy. None were available. I don't know if that's because it's popular or if the Best Buy doesn't know what that is, and so it's not letting me schedule it. But yeah, maybe we won't see a cheaper, lighter Vision something for a while. There's rumor that we'll see an M5 Apple Vision Pro. That would be another question of like, would I upgrade to that? I don't think so. I just updated my Vision Pro to Vision OS 26 like yesterday. Did you? Have you updated your Vision Pro?
No. I have not updated. Well, wait. I have. It's got 26 running on it, but it's not. I haven't updated it since 26 came out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you did it before me. I just didn't.
I put it on there. I did not run the beta on it, mostly because the Apple Vision Pro still is like finicky in ways that I felt like adding another variable of finickiness, which is putting a beta on it. I still don't understand why it takes 14 minutes sometimes to convince it to turn on. That doesn't make sense to me. It's just got an M2 processor in there. Like,
do you also find it takes a long time to connect to Wi-Fi, like to actually get internet?
That I don't have that doesn't seem, well, I don't think that's a problem, but I just don't understand the sequence of things I'm supposed to do to make it turn on sometimes, especially if you just leave it sitting there and the battery goes down. It's like, okay, I'll plug it in. I don't need to use this right now. I'll plug it in. And a half an hour later, I come back and I'm like, we good? You awake?
We good.
What do you need? How do I get you? Do I do a sternal rub on you to get you to wake up? What am I supposed to do?
Smelling salts. You got to give it smelling salts.
Something.
It's weird. All right, personal tech segment. I finally complained about it. I don't like windowing in iPadOS. Now, here's the thing. This was universally loved, I thought. And I'm glad windowing is there for all the people who wanted windowing on iPad. Now that I've been using it for almost 4 months now. The iPad is the first one I put on the developer beta back in June. So June, July, August, September. We're in October now. I've been using it for 4 months. I don't care for the windowing. I use an 11-inch iPad. Maybe that has something to do with it. But it's just, I find it to be a little too finicky to manage the windows. I also don't use the Magic Keyboard by default. It's better with the keyboard. But anyway, the one thing I'm just bemoaning is the fact that we can't easily do split view when windowing is disabled. And this is when I think I'm going to make a video about this. But one of the things is you have to turn like windowing on or off, Stage Manager on or off. Those are two different things. And I understand why and they're different, but it feels like too many things to turn on or off when it comes to Windows. And also if you turn that all off, so windowing is off and Stage Manager is off, all you can do is full screen apps and nothing else. And all I want to be able to do, Jason, and this, I don't think this affects anybody else. The one thing I miss, what I did all the time, is I would have a full screen app open. Okay, maybe I'm taking notes or whatever, and I just want to be able to swipe up where the dock is, which you can still do that. I can still swipe up where the dock is. And I just want to be able to tap and drag an app to the side to activate split view, and that does nothing. And even with windowing on, that does nothing. So I'll enable windowing. I'll now swipe up the dock. I will take Safari to try to split view it, and nothing. It just opens full screen, and then you have to resize the window first. I can't just, I guess I can drag and flick it over to the side to go to that 50-50 view, but I don't prefer it. I will challenge, because people were asking me like, oh, people complain about not having windowing for years, and now they're complaining you don't, and now they have it. You can go, there's lots of hours of my voice on the internet. I don't think I ever complained or asked for windowing specifically. I asked for mic input on the iPad. I asked for like background audio input and stuff like that. And that's all now in iPadOS 26. And that's great. I've said that's great. I never asked for windowing. So I don't think that applies to me. But also I wish I could just do that thing. Even if it was a windowing feature, to quickly be able to take an app from the dock, flick it over into split view so that full screen app I already have on screen and the app I'm dragging go 50-50 with one movement, that would be nice. Because right now you have to resize the open app, flick that over, open the second app, resize that, or try to drag it around and flick it off to the side, and there's no slide over, which most people bemoaned the idea that slide over is gone. So the way I used my iPad up until this point, I miss the way it worked when it came to that split view. That's all I want to say.
So basically what you're saying is Apple is the new Facebook.
What does that even mean? What are you talking about?
They're changing the way you've always used a product and forcing you to use it a different way because they think that it's better and you prefer the previous way.
Yeah.
Steven, the only reason I made that is like literally that was the first thing I wrote that you took issue with, and that's how we met. I literally wrote an article that says Apple is the new Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I remember that article. Yeah. But I mean, this.
But you missed the reference, Steven.
I did.
I was thinking about it the whole time. I'm like, wait, we literally just said this about Reels being the first tab in the Instagram app. Sorry.
I was readying myself to defend my viewpoint, and so I missed the reference.
I feel like the one miss here. None of the things you said I care about because sorry, even as I was saying that, I realized I was hard. Because there is an easy workaround. You just don't like the workaround, which is like the thing where and it's not nearly as hard to just drag it over and put the next app next to it, because you can put them in any ratio you want now. Before, you were limited to like a third or a half or full or whatever. So that's not that big a deal to have two. You can still have two windows next to each other. Like, that's totally doable. The slide over is the thing that's terrible. The fact that you no longer have slide over. And I just think Apple didn't consider the fact that you could combine these two metaphors, and maybe you just can't. Maybe there's not a good way to make those two things work, and maybe it would make the experience of it even worse. But you can definitely just put two windows next to each other, and you can actually have more flexibility on doing that. Now, you are right. It is not as automatic like snap to thing as it was before, but my guess is that it's a thing that you will get very good at doing if you care about it, and you won't. No, I mean that for real. Like, you'll just get good at doing that, and you won't care as much in a couple of weeks.
I mean, I can do it. One, it's just more taps to get to the same. Like, if my goal is I want two apps side by side, 50-50, it takes way more taps to make that than it did before, starting from scratch. And I have a shortcut that opens two apps, each in 50-50, and that's fine. But I also feel like I'm getting less of the app, because now the rounded corners are so rounded and there's like just more space around them. I preferred how it looked and functioned with the 50-50. And I think for the 11-inch iPad and smaller, I don't know, maybe I preferred that old split view. So I don't know. And I understand you can have like different stages, and it feels like a lot. And I use a bunch of windows on my Mac all the time. Like, I have like 10 windows open on my main Mac desktop, and I use multiple spaces. So like, I'm used to that on my Mac. And I don't know, just the way that I have functioned on the iPad for years, it's not jiving with the new windowing system. And I guess I edit a podcast every day on the iPad. I use it every day. But I don't use it for hours every day. And I don't usually manage tons of windows. I have like Ferrite and Bear, or I have like Safari and Bear, and that's kind of it. That's basically what I'm doing that iPad.
So you know what I actually like better about it? I'm just going to tell you this, and I'll see what you think.
Okay.
I don't want two apps side by side. Okay. What I do want is to be easily able to go between two apps. And I actually think that this is better because it's more like the Mac. What I do on the Mac, and I have this right now, I have two Brave windows, and they sort of overlap each other like this.
Yes.
So that I can just click real quickly on one or the other, and they both show up. But I want more screen on my Mac than I would have if I had them actually next to each other, mostly because I'd be looking like this all the time at our video if I was doing that. And doing that on the iPad Pro or on any iPad at this point in iPadOS 26 is much better than it, because you couldn't do that with side by side. So I actually prefer is like I have two windows that are both like 70%, and they just sort of overlap a little bit, and you can just easily go back and forth. And to me, that's a much better working situation.
So I do that all the time too. Like, I have Notion, Brave, I have my Safari tab group for screen sharing, and like all the corners are peeking out, so I can quickly bring any of the windows to the front. And I want that on my Mac. I feel like on an 11-inch iPad screen, the size that windows have to be in order to have that kind of tappability, the windows are then unusably small.
No, Stephen. There's a slightly different version of it, which is that I was just making sure I don't have any emails in here that I care about. But I basically just have them like, they're both like 60%, and I can just tap one or tap the other one. So they're both like next to each other, but they just overlap in the middle.
Yeah. I see.
So I have like as much screen as I need. I got like 60% of each.
So it's almost like you got two 2/3 app, like
exactly. And I can just tap on one or tap on the other one. So
Yeah. Do you keep those two apps like in a stage by itself so you can always go back to it?
No, I don't. I mean, I literally just opened two apps so I could show you this. Like on this right now, there wasn't anything open. I just opened Ulysses and email, and then had to make sure I didn't have any interest. But I do have my receipt from St. Jude, so that's good.
So, but typically, do you have to kind of set that up every time you open your iPad? Like drag the app, resize it, drag the second app, resize it, and now you have it?
I don't think about doing that, so it must be that like those apps are pretty commonly in the order, because it remembers for me generally if I just open my iPad, I have things open and I might move on around. I just don't think about it as much. I think this is not in any way a criticism. I think I'm just using my iPad and doing whatever I have to do it. And I'm not thinking like, oh, I and you do it a little different because other than I edit a different podcast on my iPad consistently once a week, and that's just full screen. I don't need anything else.
Right.
Every other time I'm using my iPad, I'm typically doing something a little bit different each time. So like maybe I have Safari and Ulysses open because I'm writing something, or maybe I have, my email and Slack open because I'm just triaging garbage that came in throughout the day.
And I think maybe that's different because I typically use full screen apps 80% of the time. It's either Ferrite and I'm editing, or it's Bear and I'm writing. And then 20% of the time I want Bear and Safari open at the same time so I can like take notes and do research. Or I want Ferrite and Bear open because I'm recording the Daily Show and I need the notes on the side. And so for me, I go between the full screen version of an app and wanting to split view it a lot. And that feels like it's harder to do. Go between the idea like of full screen and split view and back and forth often, because then it doesn't save my position. Like if I drag the window and make Bear 50%, but then the next time I open Bear, I want it to be full screen. I have to either change that or resize it. So anyway, I don't know. I'll have to think about it more, but I'm going to make a video because I don't know. I'm not used to it yet. That's all. And I think I like the previous split view better. But anyway, let us know. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and let us know. iPadOS 26 windowing. Thumb up, 2 thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know. Or the host of other things you can let us know about battery percentage and Apple Pencil tip. Or you can support the show. You get an ad-free version of the show and our bonus episode, which Jason has a topic here about handing down iPhone and tech. That's interesting. Also, just side note, have you been using the Air at all, or are you just on Pro Max all the time?
I carry the Air around with me.
Okay.
It's a product in my backpack.
It's a product in your lineup. Okay, very good. We're going to talk more about Apple Tech. So if you want to hear the bonus episode, you want to get Primary Tech Daily, and you want to get an ad-free version of this show, support the show at join.primarytech.fm, or you can support us directly in Apple Podcasts. And again, you get a shout-out if you leave us a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts as well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.